After months of planning, we set off on our first trip to Iceland. Here's part 1 of our adventure. As soon as we arrived in Iceland, we picked up a hire car and we were off. Seljalandsfoss is a waterfall that can be fully encircled, situated on the south coast of Iceland, with a drop of 60 metres, that's 200 feet. Make sure you have your full waterproofs, as you're going to get wet if you want the full experience. After taking loads of photographs, we headed off around the corner, just by foot, and found, partially hidden behind a rock face, another beautiful waterfall. Make sure you go and see this. It's an absolute hidden gem and it's often overlooked by the main event. We left the waterfalls and headed off to find our Airbnb for the night. Our Airbnb was situated in the middle of nowhere. It was a great location and really dark at night. We headed off, stopping to take more pictures en route. The weather wasn't great, but that didn't stop us. We came across a church and then learned that it was actually a burial church, and that's why the graves were set on the surface. This is also due to the volcanic rock that they can't dig down. We'd never seen anything like this before. It was really interesting. Leaving the church, we jump back into the car and we head off into spectacular landscapes. We're in search of one of the best black sand beaches in southern Iceland, from where you can see basalt columns, sea stacks and a majestic sea arch. It was absolutely incredible. We looked to the skies, not realising that the birds we were seeing was a resident colony of puffins. This was the first time we had ever seen puffins, and they're so cute. You just stand and watch them for hours. Beware of the tide, it really comes in quickly. You need to watch out, otherwise you're going to end up with very, very wet feet, as I did, taking photographs and not realising that suddenly I was in the water. Leaving the Black Sands beach, we headed off to drive to Skogafoss waterfall. Parking there was easy, and you can do an easy walk to the base of the waterfall and admire its sheer size. For the more adventurous, 527 steps leads you to the top of Skogafoss waterfall, where there's a viewing platform. From here you are rewarded with incredible views across the Skoga River. Skogafoss is one of Iceland's biggest and most beautiful waterfalls, with a width of 82 feet and a drop of 197 feet. We went on a fantastic hike from here, walking further up the river. The views were absolutely incredible, and once again we stopped to take loads of photographs. Leaving Skogafoss waterfall, we jump back in the car. The driving's easy, I could never get tired of this. We stopped at a glacier outlet. It was so interesting to see all the different layers of volcanic ash that have built up over hundreds and hundreds of years. This gives it its black and white appearance. Huge chunks of ice dropping off of the glacier. The sound was absolutely incredible. Icebergs that floated down the outlet and out into the sea. Jumping back into the car, we head off again in search of a nice spot to have some dinner. The views were absolutely incredible on the way. We end up reaching a beach and finding a really nice spot where we cook and watch the sun go down with sea stacks in the background. It couldn't be more perfect. If I was to describe the landscape, I could only say that I'd imagined it was something like being on the moon. Vast space. Absolutely incredible. I woke at 4 AM and the sky was just beautiful, so I tried to capture it in a bit of a time lapse. There was no way that I was going to fall asleep and miss this. The views from our Airbnb just seemed to be endless. Our 2 nights were over, so we packed up the car and we headed off again. With more waterfalls out of the window as the road twists and turns. It really was non-stop. You can't really help but stop. On a journey like ours, our first time in Iceland, we just kept finding ourselves pulling over and just taking it all in. It was absolutely amazing. After months of planning, the first 2 days were really delivering, and we were really looking forward to our journey around the whole of Iceland. We stopped off at a sulphur field. It was pretty smelly and there were a lot of flies or midges. They're just really annoying, so I'd highly recommend having a head net. Seeing the sulphur field was incredible. Never seen anything like it before. The heat that was coming out of the ground. If you put your hand over the steam, it was only resembled putting your hand over the steam of a kettle. Really amazing. Make sure you subscribe and click the little bell so you know when episode 2 comes out of our Iceland adventure. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.